joining me today, and in this video I'm going to be working on my task page for the month of April. This is my April currently page. You may have seen the video. I used gorgeous stickers from Katelyn Plans and I really love how it turned out. But one of my favourite things to do is to make a matching page to list my main priorities for the month. Instead of using boxes as I have on this page, I usually like to write my tasks in shaped boxes. Here's an example of my February task page. So I'll be bringing in some of the elements from this page. I'm not sure whether I'll be using Katelyn stickers, but I've got some printed out just in case. I'll probably be bringing in this lovely grid washi that I got from a set on Amazon. And maybe the alphabets which came from the Pastel Tropics book. My first idea for this page was to do clouds as the shaped boxes, but I remembered I'd already done that once before. This is my currently and task page from June last year, and you can see I have already used the clouds idea. So I had two other ideas. One was upside down umbrellas. I think they're supposed to be unlucky, or is that just putting them up in a house? But I don't believe in that sort of thing. And the other was to draw raindrops. I'm probably going to go with the raindrop idea because that's easier, but we'll have to see. I'm thinking of bringing in this scrapbook paper because I didn't want to bring in any new colours. I wanted to keep it fairly monochromatic. I'm using paper from this soft geode guided journal that I picked up on a Facebook destash. It's really pretty. It's got some pages that have boxes pre-drawn, and then it has lots of these beautiful neutral plain dot grid pages that I love to use. What I've also done here is I've turned this into what's called, I think, a transformer planner, except it's not a transformer planner, but I've got my soft geode here, and then I've also, if I can do this, got my Miss Maker Create What You Love. And that's got those bookmarks. I keep forgetting I've got those. They are gorgeous, but I'm not using them. I've got my lovely note paper in there. So I've put the two together as one. Let's get started. I'll leave this on the table just in case I want to refer to it. And I'm going to use my Fiskars paper trimmer just to cut a couple of inches from this scrapbook paper. Maybe 2.5, I think. I have a lot of scrapbook paper because I do scrapbooking. And I have to confess, whenever I see a piece of paper that has rain on it, I tend to add it to my basket to buy because I quite often need it for rainy day spreads here in the UK. So I'm just going to cut this at 23. Is it 23.5? Let's just check. It's 23.5, the length of the Happy Planner paper. Now I need to decide where I want to have it. I could have it in the middle, and maybe some raindrops down the side, or I could have it to one side. Let's see how that looks. I think what we'll do is put down some washi, and we'll have the scrapbook paper at the side. Otherwise I may not be able to fit the word tasks on the page if I have it in the middle. I didn't actually need to go all the way to the edge, but never mind. So as I said, I really enjoyed making that currently page. It's funny how sometimes spreads work out really well and others you struggle with. Put it across the top too. I won't go all the way across this time as I don't need to. It is handy using the dot grid paper because then you've got a guide to keep things straight. And I just use double-sided sticky tape on the scrapbook paper, or a tape runner, tape pen, whichever I've got to hand. And you can see this has got swans on the back. That's the other thing I tend to pick up when it comes to scrapbook paper. Anything with animals, to document trips to the zoo or trips to wildlife parks and days out like that. I think that one's run out. Always happens on live TV. Make sure this is going to fit. That's it. I always feel when I have scrapbook paper against the paper, I need to have some washi just to define the edge. So I've grabbed this washi because it's black and white, so similar to the black and white grid washi. I can't remember where I got it, but I'll try to remember to link it in the description. It was from a set of lots of different washis. And next will come the tricky part for me. I'll have to do some drawing, which is not my strong point, but I did try it in my recent Taylor Swift spread and it worked out okay. I know I could draw freehand, but I've just made myself a little raindrop template to draw around. I'll do it in pencil first and then I will go over it in pen. So I'll probably speed this up. I used a Pigma Micron 8 to draw the lines, and I might just do a little line. I think it would be nice to bring some of Katelyn's raindrops in between. So I was talking in my last video about how I print Katelyn stickers out 4 to a page to make them a little bit smaller, and I use just regular label paper so that I don't have to add glue. So what I'm going to do is cut them out. That's the only problem. If you haven't got a cutting machine, you have to cut them out by hand, but it's not an issue. And I'll just scatter a few around. Obviously, I'm not cutting out every individual raindrop. I'm just cutting them out as a cluster. And then just trim them down so they fit in. I'm wondering about whether for balance I should use the other quote from the sheet at the top to balance out this quote. I wasn't a fan of it, as it says, I think rainy days are my fave, which is just not true at all. Let's see how it looks. It doesn't quite fit there, but I could overlap the grid washi. And as I say, it balances that quote there. I could always add rainy days are not my fave, or rainy days are my fave not. I think we'll do that. I don't really like using quotes in my planner that I'm not feeling. That's why I tend not to use the ones that are like Boss Babe and things like that. Just wondering if it should go a little bit higher. The other really good thing about printables is that you can print as many as you like. So I would have probably run out of these little raindrops by now. But instead I've got an endless supply. I will need to remember to rub out the pencil lines when I'm finished. It's rather funny about the drawing because my mum's actually very good at drawing. She draws and paints in with watercolor to make cards to send to her friends. Oh, that one's a little bit wonky. Growing up, I was always more into my writing. I used to love writing. And I think I was maybe in my 30s when I actually started making cards and realised I could be quite creative in that way. I've run out of raindrops and I don't want to print out anymore, so I think all that's left is to add the task at the bottom. I couldn't find all the letters I needed, so I've got goals instead of tasks. I don't really call them goals because they are usually jobs that need doing that I'm putting off doing, but we'll make it work. I'll either make them into goals for this month or we'll just call it goals and it will still be tasks. So I just put the letters on the checklist stencil, helps me position them where I want them to go. And as we've got the April in the middle, more or less, this is going to go in the middle. And just making sure I get it straight. Keeps moving. I think that's straight. Let's just check. Yeah, I think so. It will do. Oh, that doesn't usually happen. Maybe we'll have April goals. If that happens to you, that's okay. You just put the letter on in the middle. No problem. Let's see how the pages look in my planner. This is my new planner. It's new to me. It's not actually a new one. It's from last year's release, the seasonal 2023 planner, but I've only just picked it up. So let's find the April page. It is actually rather a shame not to be using this, and I did think that maybe I should start using this because it is a really pretty page, and I thought maybe I could use this one as my task list and then still make a currently page. I may do that because it seems a shame not to use them, but I also really love making my matching currently and task page. So I'm a little bit torn. I've punched the holes on the page I've just done. If you want to see how I do that, then that's in my currently video. I also rubbed out all the pencil marks and I found the Pigma Micron was very good, didn't smudge at all. And I used one of my new pens, this Pentel Energel Gel Ink pen, 0.7, and it was the perfect colour to match the quote, and I just wrote "not." Rainy days are my fave, not. And I feel like, although we should be done, I feel like I should be putting something on here. So I'm just wondering about maybe adding a couple of boxes. I'm not quite sure what I would write on them, but maybe extra things that I don't have room to write on the raindrops. I'll just see if I've got any boxes that match these. I have, but I'm not sure how it will look, so I'll just add one. My boxes are pretty good at coming off, but I don't want them to ruin the scrapbook paper. I'm not sure. I'm going to leave it for now. Do let me know in the comments whether you think I should add the boxes or not, or leave it blank, and then that will help me decide what to do. I hope you found this video useful. One of the reasons I started my YouTube channel was I wanted to pass on tips and help out other planners, particularly new planners. And it's lovely to read your comments when you say I've given new ideas or inspired you to try something maybe you haven't tried before. Just a reminder that I do have my Spring Sticker Hunt 2023 going on Instagram if you're on Instagram. I do have a YouTube video where I explain what that's all about. But I've had lots of people tell me that it's a lot of fun. It's a great way to use your stickers, make a pretty monthly page. And also the added bonus is that I find when I'm flipping through stickers to find the sticker of the day, I see all these stickers that I've been hoarding that I haven't used, and I think, I'm really going to use those now. Or I didn't know I had those. So do check that out if that's something you might be interested in. If you are enjoying my content, do remember to subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Hope your week's going well. Happy planning. Take care and see you soon.